So again, good morning, good day, and good evening from wherever you are tuned in to our today's session on the Move to Cloud webinar series. Today, we're going to talk about clean core data, tools, techniques, and use cases. And with me in the call, I have Peter Schmidt, Maria Berg, and also Natalia Soltau. As usual, please put your question in the Q&A box and we will either answer it during the session or we will answer it latest after the session. And with that, I would hand over to Maria.
Thank you. Also, a very warm welcome from my side. Hi, everyone, wherever you are. I hope you're having a good day and are ready for a presentation and hopefully a discussion afterwards. As already mentioned, today we are talking about the topic of clean core, focusing on data, and specifically about the tooling, techniques, and use cases around it. My name is Maria Berg. I am a senior consultant from the Application and Integration Center of Expertise at SAP. And today I am accompanied by my colleague Peter Schmidt. So Peter, if you'd like to introduce yourself for a minute.
Yes. So hello. My name is Peter Schmidt. Together with Maria, I will conduct today this webinar. So I'm also from SAP, located in St. Leon Road from the service and support area, working in the area of analytics and data.
Yeah, Peter and I both lead the clean core data topic at SAP. And today we will walk you through various topics. So as you might know, this particular session is part of a series based on the clean core topic. And specifically for data, we have reserved 2 sessions. The next one will take place on the 10th of December, in which we will talk about the clean core data quality and data protection, also focusing on real-life customer examples, and we will also have an expert invited to the session. But today, first, I will walk you through the foundation of the clean core data dimension, and then the majority of the time is reserved for Peter, who will talk about the SAP Business Data Cloud and how it relates to the clean core data framework, and also will give a demonstration of the tools. And he has also prepared an example from his service delivery for a large customer that he would like to share with you today. And of course, we have also reserved a lot of time for your questions and are also happy about the discussion later with you. With this, let's dive a bit deeper into the topic of clean core data and what it is and why it matters. So in general, we have taken a holistic approach towards defining what is actually clean data. This has to do with the recent trends, specifically with the shift towards the data product economy, and of course also with the introduction of the SAP Business Data Cloud. So what motivated us to talk more about the clean core data? I think first of all, we see clean data not just a subject to continuous monitoring of quality and volume, but also as a success factor for your daily business processes, and of course, as a differentiator for your enterprise success when it comes to the foundation. So we see having clean data as a foundation for your success. But to be a bit more precise, what does it actually mean, clean core data? So for us, when we think of clean core data, we consider multiple aspects of it. First of all, clean data is a data set which is not only of high quality, in which the volume is managed and also at scale, but it is also semantically connected, it is harmonized, it is trusted in terms of the data security and data privacy, and of course it is governed. So again, at SAP, we have defined 5 pillars of the Clean Core Data Foundation. And it starts with governance and strategy, because we think that having the foundation, having the roles defined and policies defined is really the reason for your future success. And of course, it's about continuous monitoring of data quality. Having high data quality is very important for leveraging the most recent technologies and the data volume, which is one of the main cost factors when it comes to the cloud. And of course, data protection, which is a must. And on this slide, you will not only see an introduction of the practices that we talk about in Clean Core Data, but you will also see underneath in the dark blue box the ways how we at SAP measure Clean Core. So within the Rise with SAP methodology, we offer 2 ways of measuring Clean Core. First is the governance and operational maturity, which is measured via a questionnaire. And this mainly focuses on the operational topics, on the governance strategy topics, which not necessarily need to be derived from customer systems based on the data. And in the case of data, all the 5 pillars from the foundation are included into this assessment. And on the right-hand side, you see the KPI categories. So for this, we have developed the Rise with SAP methodology dashboard, which makes transparent the KPIs, which are based on the real data. And in this case, we have KPIs defined for the data volume efficiency and the data quality. So the data volume efficiency part will go live in a few weeks. So feel free to take some time and check this out. But yeah, in general, so when it comes to how to achieve clean data, of course, when it comes to strategy and governance, we talk about policies that absolutely need to be defined on the data access, data sharing. We are talking about different roles around data. So data steward, but we're talking about ownership as well, and the continuous feedback process that needs to happen in order to improve and optimize the processes, and also to have teams who can be held accountable when it comes to actions which are related to the data topic. And of course, again, going back to the data product topic, it is absolutely necessary to have structures like data fabric, for example, and the data products, which are not only stable, but also reusable and high quality. We're talking about governance bodies which supervise the organization. And when it comes to quality and volume efficiency, we are talking again about the continuous monitoring. We're talking about the automation where it's possible, and we're talking about considering best practices that are defined by SAP, for example, when it comes to the data retention policies, archiving, deletion, and so on. And of course, data protection, which is an extremely important topic, which mainly focuses on respecting the user rights and again, data sharing compliance and so on. And with this, I would like to give the stage to Peter, who will guide you through the challenges that we have in the data dimension or data area. And then we'll go deeper into the SAP Business Data Cloud topic. Peter, would you like me to continue sharing, or would you like to take over?
I take over, then please unshare, then I can share.
Thank you.
So then let me now continue. So as Maria mentioned, I think one of the the starting points is also, let's take a look to the main challenges which somehow lead to unclean data, to make data also difficult to handle. And it's not only about the quality, but in general. So what are the big data challenges? So first of all, now in the world, there's several applications also from SAP side, where you have S4, you have SuccessFactors, you have Ariba. Each of them has their own data. Sometimes out of the box, it's even not fully harmonized. So it's limited reach. You can reach one of these pillars quite probably easily, but bringing data together is already then a kind of challenge. Then also leads to the next point. If you now want to bring data together, you have to bypass a certain level of semantics. You need to build your own semantics to bring data together, to transform it, to make it ready for consumption. And actually, this time to value is one of the main drivers nowadays, which was also the reason why we came up with this new solution, which was mentioned before already, Business Data Cloud, where we have identified that a lot of customers, they spend sometimes up to 80% of their time to extract, to transform, to prepare the data for, at the end, for the consumption from the end user. And then of course another one is also the business silos. It's a bit related to this limited reach. So you might have many in bigger companies. We see sometimes really silos, even between different SAP systems, silos where different people have their own infrastructure, and it's of course very hard to exchange data. And overall, one thing around data, and this is now really the quality aspect, the more unclean the data, the more problems you have with the data, the higher, of course, the operational costs are coming. And this is something which is, of course, quite very strongly increasing if you lose, for example, 1% of the data quality, it will already triple or really your effort to correct that, and increases the operational costs. So these are some of the main drivers. So at the end,
I cannot see your slides. Could you please share them?
You cannot see them. Okay. Interesting. Then I need to. Where is it now? Now, can you see it again?
No, not yet.
Now, can you see?
Yes, here we go.
Okay.
Perfect.
Okay, so that's anyway the first slide, which is the content. So this one is, I think, the main idea from our perspective with the Business Data Cloud, to bring now the data together on one side, bringing technology in for analytics, for data management, getting data out, prepare the data for your consumption layer, but on the other side, tightly integrate that with the context which comes from the application. And so that means not only extracting data in a raw format and then preparing it again with all the context which is required from a business side, here bringing everything already together out of the box, making it ready for the end user to consume that. And that means data comes together with things like unit conversion, currency conversion, hierarchies. So this is then automatically added to the data out of the box. And that could then really decrease the effort for transformation, and could definitely then increase the quality and the agility for your business decisions. So, and that's now, I think, the key slide, this architecture slide for the Business Data Cloud. That's the big picture, which shows how do we achieve that. So on one side, we have on the bottom, you see all the SAP applications. And let's mainly, and this also fits to this theme of this webinar, so for cloud solutions like S/4HANA private cloud, public cloud, S/4HANA in the context of RISE, in that sense. but also Ariba, SuccessFactors, Concur, all our lines of business solutions which are in the cloud, they will provide, and most of them already do, but some of them are still in the next couple of months providing so-called data products. So means data product, it's out-of-the-box content which can be activated in this blue box, which is the Business Data Cloud. And that means then SAP automatically extracts the data from the source systems, put it into a SAP-managed data lake. So technology-wise, it's exactly the technology which is also now commonly used in the non-SAP, in the cloud, in the hyperscaler world. So here we have a standard data lake depending where you deploy your BDC. If it's Azure, then it's an Azure data lake. If it's Amazon, it's an S3 store. So here the data is extracted and of course brought into a harmonized format. And from that, these data products, so it's not only raw data, it's already data which comes with the context, is then released for the consumption or for the modeling layer in the first step, probably better term, as an API. And this is the so-called data share API, which is also very common now in the cloud world. So all these data products coming from this object store, from this data lake, are released via API, and then you can, as a customer, either you can model yourself in DataSphere, in Analytics Cloud, in SAP Databricks. If you have now the AI ML use cases more for data scientists, you can also run the AI foundation with the AI functionality, which also then at the end comes with Joule things and so on. They can then directly access this. And also recently, since last week, since the TechEd was, we also announced SAP Snowflake. And even now also here at the site, we would also have nowadays, even then also as a consumer, Microsoft Fabric, which could also then directly read our data products directly from the SAP data lake. And I think that's the big change now. And here, let's emphasize, we provide the so-called SAP-managed data products. So customer does not need to do any loading in the background. All these preparations is done from SAP, and at the end, customer gets the API. And that's one step with the data products. On top, we also provide the so-called intelligent applications, what you see here on the top. These are then even out-of-the-box applications, like at the beginning, now we have from finance side, we have this working capital insights application, which then provides an ready-to-use dashboard, and which can directly utilize them by your end users. So customer doesn't need to do any loading anymore. SAP provides that out of the box with the data, and that's the big difference to the past. On the other side, that also ensures that certain standards are kept, and I think that's why we have this webinar today, to understand this new paradigm with the SAP managed data product. So in the past, you could compare it like on the S4 side. Everybody knows the 7 end-to-end business processes, where we would say from SAP, if you implement S4, stay close with the SAP standard processes that will make your operations easier, that makes it easier to upgrade, that makes it easier to extend. You could utilize new features much easier. Now in the data world, we could now say, if you utilize this SAP managed data product, then you have standardized objects, standardized data, and it's then probably, and it's independent where the data comes from. For example, a customer then from S4 looks like similar how you would use it in another application. It comes in a standardized format, and then you could build on top of these data products. And so therefore, these SAP managed data products are more or less the standard objects, similar to the standard processes on the business architecture side. Yeah, so I think that's the main piece. Of course, also to be clear, Business Data Cloud, you could also you could also extend that with your own data products. If you have own data, of course, SAP cannot come up with a standard format. Then you can define your own data products. You can also create data products on top of the SAP data product as a kind of derived data product. Here you are flexible. It's still a flexible modeling environment depending on your use case. And but the big difference in the past is here, of course, you extract this once from the source in a standardized format. You have it once in an object store, in a data lake, and then you can utilize it in many different applications, in analytics, in Databricks, in Snowflake, if you like, but also in some developer applications, like on BTP side, you can create then in the future also a CAP application on top of these data products. So that's the story, and I think that's really a game changer compared to what we did in the past. In the past, SAP was delivering some templates, and then customer adjusted that, and they had to run it themselves. And of course, they changed it also quite heavily. So that's now really a new paradigm. Yeah. So again, key part of this, especially for the clean core story, is the SAP-managed part, where we provide from our cloud solutions, SAP-managed data products, and via Delta Share, via zero copy, you could utilize it in AI cases, in analytics, via DataSphere, via SSC, or in other applications. From non-SAP products or from the on-premise world, you could also then you could still integrate this data as a customer-managed data product. So it still keeps it open to make it then complete. Yeah, so this is the content. I mentioned that. Now, let's call it, these are the standard processes now from the data side. Here we have on the FI side, we have working capital, we have sales analysis. So these are predefined intelligent applications which customer could use out of the box. Of course, in cases it's needed, customer could also extend that. They could take this then at the end as a template and can extend that to their needs. That's also possible, of course. But the initial ideas, you should stay as close as possible to these standard models. And then that means also in the future, improvements and new functionality delivered from SAP on top can be directly utilized. So the same is, of course, in people intelligence from SuccessFactor. So these are the two first packages, which are now already available in Business Data Cloud. So I think most of you might know, BDC is a relatively new product. It has been released February this year. So it's continuously developed in SAP with a really high pressure. But all applications from SAP side need to build their own data products, SAP-managed data products there. And now we have already S/4HANA, private cloud, public cloud, SuccessFactor is already there. And so these are the first three. Very soon, Ariba is coming, Concur will also come in, and so on. And then at the end, in the ideal case, you could use this kind of dashboards then out of the box. So this is the custom example, what I also a bit showed how such a landscape then would look like in the future. So if customer have now several S4 systems, they can be connected. You could derive SAP data products out of that, Ariba, SuccessFactor. So this is definitely the first choice. Then, of course, also BW. There is a kind of BW modernization story around BDC. So means you could also then, the ideas to move BW first from a side-by-side approach, step by step into BDC, moving from BW data flows into this data product architecture. So everything is controlled by this BDC cockpit. This is then a fully managed SaaS solution. So this is the administration piece that I will show you also later on, where you could find then the data catalog across your applications, DataSphere as a modeling environment, Databricks if you need that. So it's up to you as a customer how many modules at the end you want to utilize here. On top of that, of course, then we have Analytics Cloud, as one of the as our main user interface for the analytical users. And the benefit is here always about low data redundancy. So we have it once in the data lake, and then it's used by all these applications. Okay, now then let me quickly jump to the demo. So here in the demo, let me first log on again. So this is now a BDC, the Business Data Cloud Cockpit, the so-called this administration place where you have where you could then find the catalog. So all the data which is then used or connected here, you could identify here. So you can go to the data products here. And then here in this catalog around 930 products, but here, of course, a lot of things. That's a test system. Let's focus on S/4HANA as a source from S/4HANA PCE. So now we see here 172 data products here. And then here are some of them not activated. Let's filter on the active ones. So you could also then just activate some of them. Not all needs to be loaded, depends on your needs. And each data product then at the end, for example, general ledger account, which really gives you the financial line item data, but also all the master data. Center supplier of what is typically used in the FI area. Now, just to get an idea how such a data product is then documented, realized here. Here you get an overview. What is then, what's the release? What are the entities behind? Here you see, it's of course here you would identify people which know a bit the details. You see here there are different sources behind. So means such a data product is not only fed from one table from S4. There are several which are used, and extraction from the S4 side is done via CDS views. So it's nothing new. The CDS views were already there. Some of them has been extended for the data products, but that's the source, and then they will be taken. And then you see here, this general ledger kind, and here you can then of course manage all the things around. Then in the documentation, you get a bit. Here you get then here the link to the Business Accelerator Hub. That's the second what I wanted to show you here. That's now the central place where all these data products are documented. So it's the single point of truth for your clean SAP-managed data products. If you go in this api.sap.com, so our standard API source, right, for the documentation, from documentation perspective, you find a new area called data products. And here you see now 233 data products are available from SAP side, so standard data products. And here you can also then you could select or you could filter. For example, let's go to a success factor. Then you find out what are the data products which are coming now from success factor 55. And so from all the areas, from skills, from learning, from succession management, and so on. So this is then in each data product you get then also quite some information. So let's go to, I don't know which will we take. I go to this workforce skills. Then you find here some information about the API itself. And then if you go to the API itself, then you find here some reference information, really the details, what comes in this data product from a technical level, which fields are provided, and so on. So that's then also already the information which is required for some technical user who wants to build on this data product. So that's a bit a nutshell how what we wanted to show you in this webinar. So I think as a summary, clean data from our perspective will then very much can be achieved in the future with this usage of the out-of-the-box SAP-managed data products, similar like you utilize the end-to-end processes on the S4 side. And the good thing is this SAP-managed data products, they are fitting to the standard processes. So the closer you are in the on the business architecture side, close to the standard, the closer you or the easier you can utilize the SAP-managed data products. So if you do extensions on the S4 side based on clean core methods, so utilizing the extension framework, then this will also automatically reflected in the data products. So data products will also show these extensions. So if you add additional fields in the right way, in a clean core compliant way, then you also will see these extensions directly in your data product. So everything fits together if you are staying with a clean core approach. So I think that's my final statement here. Then let's move over to the Q&A. Thank you very much so far.
Yeah. Thank you, Peter. I'm just currently checking in our Q&A box, and I see that we don't have any questions so far. So if there is any question from our audience, now is the time to speak up, either raise your hand or type a question in the Q&A box. Okay, here we have one. Is master data quality something to consider before further use in data products?
Yes, so Business Data Cloud is not replacing master data governance system, at least not for your main assets, right? For business partner, for material. So things like workflows, how to establish that will not come with BDC. Of course, for some simple checks that can be, of course, then built into the data products. If you make your own data products, you can run through certain quality checks. It can, to a certain degree, you can you could of course improve already the quality. You can set up a governance framework with BDC on your data, but it's not replacing really the data quality of the critical objects, I would say. And what I also didn't mention now, what will also come, as I said, it's still a new product. A lot of development is done for all the data products here, and that goes already in the direction of data quality and governance. In the future, very soon, you will be able then also to define ownership in the catalog behind the data products. So this catalog will be continuously extended to be then really the central data catalog for SAP, for the SAP, right? And of course, this data catalog can be also then integrated with Collibra. If customer have now a central metadata solution like Collibra, and you know, SAP has this special partnership with Collibra. Here, it's of course easy then also to replicate that data catalog with Collibra, if that would be required on an enterprise level.
Okay. All right. While we're waiting for some questions, let me make you aware that the next week session where we talk about SAP DataSphere. In the meanwhile, I am not seeing any more questions, so let's just give some more moments to our audience. If there is something unclear, as usual, we will upload the recording to our YouTube playlist. I've entered it in the chat, and also I've entered the link where you can find the upcoming sessions and can register for it. Okay. It seems like we don't have more questions so far.
Yeah. So maybe if we have a bit time. So there is of course also additional things which we can add. So customer are able to you can test this BDC with a trial version. So I think that if you search for SAP Business Data Cloud trial, then you get directly linked to the web page where you can then easily, as a customer, you can, with your email address, you can apply for a 30 days trial version. Of course, you cannot connect that to your own sources. It comes out of the box with some data, but you can see all these things. What I've shown to you, you can play around with that, and then of course after 30 days it will move away, this environment. But it's a real system which you can then utilize to get some experience.
Okay. We got a new question in. We recently got to know about SAP and Microsoft collaboration. Can we have more details? How will the data be synced between the two apps, for example, SAP S/4HANA, Fabric?
So, of course, this is now going back here to this picture here. So, Microsoft will be similar partnership, or a bit similar at least, like we have it already for Snowflake and for Databricks. So these solutions already now, they can see the SAP data products. And what does that mean? They get access to this so-called Delta Share API from this data lake. So they can then directly see this Delta Share and of the data products, and then you can more data. And this will go with Microsoft Fabric, it will go in a similar way. So you will be able to see the data share. That's clear. So this is very, very new, this Microsoft Fabric announcement that was last week. And it will come next year, then finally in the first half, as far as I know. But at the end, the integration point are the data products. What is, of course, what is always then also from a setup perspective and from a contractual perspective, I think what is the direction here? It's not meant to get now replicate data again out. So with BDC, we will try to help the customer keep the data together, keep it at one place. And if it's a SAP-managed data product, if it's SAP data, you can keep it into this SAP-managed data lake, and this data share can be then used in the outside world, and also means via Microsoft Fabrics from the Microsoft side. And of course, then also integration points with Power BI and so on very likely then could be utilized with that. But the important part is here, of course, it's the data product, which is the integration point for all these solutions then outside.
Okay, thank you, Peter. So last chance to add any additional question before we close it. And I see a new one. Is SAP Snowflake just like SAP Databricks, not the full version, but the adapted SAP version?
No, here it's a difference. So SAP Snowflake is a full-blown Snowflake version. At the beginning, all the features are in except some pieces of the marketplace. I think only some free offerings from the marketplace at the moment are available. But functional-wise, everything is in. That's the big difference to SAP Databricks. But license-wise, it's a bit different. Then it's not handled via, if you check a bit, you know, there is this BDC capacity units. Snowflake comes with an additional license.
Okay. All right, again, for all the attendees, I see a new question. So basically, SAP Snowflake can replace DataSphere?
We would not say replace from SAP side. We would more say extend, right? As Snowflake has some, of course, it's on the data warehousing side, where also DataSphere is the main focus. Snowflake is also good, but I think here the idea is Snowflake is then the best solution if also a lot of data from outside of the SAP world needs to be brought together with SAP data, brought together in their own applications, then SAP Snowflake could be a good choice. And of course, if customers have already invested a lot in Snowflake for applications, then they can use it. Of course, there is functional overlap also between Databricks, right? It's Databricks, Snowflake, they have an overlap, also DataSphere. At the end, customer have then, of course, more choices to use the tool of their favor.
Okay. And again, regarding DataSphere, please be aware that next week we have a deep dive session on it again on Tuesday, same date, same time. So please be welcome to tune in to that session as well. Okay, so last chance to put any additional questions before we close it. Okay, it seems like we don't have any questions incoming. So I already thank you, Maria, and thank you, Peter, for your time and for the very insightful session today. It was great having you. Again, we will upload the YouTube recording and the PDF to our well-known YouTube playlist. And with that, I wish you all a very nice rest of the day, a very good rest of the week, and hear you all next week, Tuesday.
Thank you.
Right.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Goodbye.